In the past 7 days, Naples, Florida had 231 price decreases. But here is the part that most people are going to miss. During that same week, 228 homes went pending, which is more than the 186 new listings that came on the market. So this is not a dead market. This is a selective market. Buyers are still moving, but they are not rewarding every listing. They are rewarding the homes that are priced right, correctly, presented well, and aligned with today's reality. Today, we're looking at where Naples price reductions are showing up, which communities may be creating buyer leverage, and what this means if you are thinking about buying or selling in Naples, Florida. I'm Chris Alley, a Naples, Florida realtor since 2000 and a certified luxury home specialist. I help buyers and sellers in boating, beach, golf, and gated communities make better real estate decisions by looking closely at the data before making a move. And this week's update is important because price reductions do not always mean a deal. Sometimes they mean the seller is finally getting closer to where the market really is. Here's what you'll learn in this video. First, what changed with the Naples, Florida median sales price? Second, why 231 price decreases matters. Third, which Naples communities are showing the most pricing pressure? Fourth, how buyers can identify real leverage instead of chasing fake discounts. And finally, what sellers need to do now to avoid becoming the listing that sits, reduces, expires, or withdraws from the market. So let's start with overall Naples, Florida market. The median sales price for May is now $600,000, and that's down from $630,000 last month. In the past 7 days, Naples had 186 new listings, 220 sold listings, 228 pending listings, 231 price decreases, 12 price increases, 251 expired listings, 8 terminating listings, 70 withdrawal listings, 175 extended listings, and 28 homes came back on the market. So the first thing that stands out is this. So we had more homes go pending than new listings come on the market. And that tells me buyers are still active. But the second number is just important. We had 231 price decreases in 1 week. That tells me buyers are being selective and sellers who are not aligned with the market are being forced to adjust. So again, this is not a market where nothing is selling. It's a market where the right listings are moving and the wrong listings are setting. Now, a price reduction by itself does not automatically mean a good deal. A home can be reduced by $100,000 and still be overpriced. What matters is the relationship between the original list price and the current list price, recent closed sales, days on market, condition, and the total cost of ownership. That is especially true in Naples, Florida, because buyers are not just looking at the purchase price. They're looking at HOA fees, insurances, taxes, assessments, updates, location, and whether the home still needs work after closing. And that's why some listings are getting passed over even after reduction. The better question is not, did the seller reduce the price? The better question is, has the price finally reached the point where buyers are seeing value? One of the biggest signals buyers should be watching right now is days on the market. There are now more than 2,200 active listings in Naples with 90 plus days on the market. So that doesn't mean every one of those listings is a deal, but it does mean buyers have more opportunities to study which sellers may be more flexible, especially when a property has also had a meaningful price reduction. So for buyers, 90 plus days on the market is where the conversation often starts. And for sellers, it's a warning sign. The longer a home sits, the more buyers start to wonder what is wrong with it. And the more they begin to assume there may be room to negotiate. Now let's look at several Naples areas where price reductions are showing up right now. In Park Shore, there are 161 active listings, 61 price decreases, and the average days on market is 126 days. In Twin Eagles, there are 21 active listings, 10 price decreases, and the average days on market is 105 days. In Old Naples, there are 165 active listings, 61 price decreases, and the average days on market is 208 days. Wow, Old Naples, what's going on there? It's important to note that in Old Naples, there are multi-million dollar homes there that sometimes sit on the market for over a year's time. So that for sure is affecting the average days on market. In Pelican Bay, there are 183 active listings, 71 price decreases, and the average days on market is 138 days. In Naples Park, there are 96 active listings, 28 price decreases, and the average days on market is 110 days. Now, here's an interesting neighborhood that's had a lot of activity in Golden Gate Estates. There are 400 active listings, 173 price decreases, and the average days on market is only 88 days. In the Moorings, there are 154 active listings, 62 price decreases, and the average days on market is 148 days. And in Vanderbilt Beach, there are 103 active listings, 38 price decreases, and the average days on market is 126 days. So here's what stands out. Twin Eagles has price decreases on almost half of the active listings in this set of data. And Golden Gate Estates has the largest raw number of reductions because it has the largest amount of active inventory. And communities like the Moorings, Pelican Bay, Park Shore, Old Naples, and Vanderbilt Beach are all showing a meaningful combination of inventory, days on market, and price reduction. That is exactly where buyers need to pay attention. Not because every listing is a bargain, but because these are the areas where the data suggests sellers may be adjusting. Price reductions are one part of the story. The other part is how close homes are actually closing compared to the asking price. Based on this data, some of the areas showing more room between asking and sold price include Moorings, closing at about 83.92% of asking price. Vanderbilt Beach around 85.66%. Old Naples around 87.33%. Park Shore around 87.92%. Pelican Bay around 87.98%. Naples Park around 87.99%. Twin Eagles around 89.53%. And Golden Gate Estates closer to 93.08%. So that does not mean every buyer can just throw out a low offer and expect it to work. But it does tell us where sellers may be yielding more when a property has been sitting and when the original price was too high or when the competition is stronger. The key is not just making a low offer. The key is making a well-supported offer. Here are a few examples of the type of price movement buyers should be watching. A Park Shore condo was originally listed for $1,199,000 and is now around $949,000 after more than 314 days. A Twin Eagles home was originally listed around $729,000 and is now around $629,000 after more than 97 days. A Vanderbilt Beach home was originally listed around $2,699,000 and is now around $2,199,000 after more than 126 days. Those are the listings buyers should study careful, not because every one of them is automatically a deal, but because the combination of time on market and the meaningful price movement may create negotiation leverage. Now, let's bring this back to the new Naples, Florida median sales price of $600,000. Out of the 220 homes that sold in the past 7 days, 116 of them sold at or below the median sales price. One example was an Esplanade by the Isles, as we're taking a look here. It was originally listed for $624,000 and it sold for $600,000. It had 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,343 square feet, HOA fees of $9,792, and a tax bill of about $5,400. Another example was in Naples Park. It was originally listed at 614,000 and it sold for 600,000. It had 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,398 square foot, no HOA fees, and a tax bill of about $5,946. Another sale was in Golden Gate. It sold for $599,000, which was also its original list price. It had 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,755 square feet, no HOA fees, and a tax bill of about $3,458. This is why buyers need to look beyond just price. At roughly the same sales price, the monthly cost and lifestyle can be very different depending upon HOA fees, taxes, location, property type, and condition. Now let's take a look at the most expensive home that sold in this past week. The highest sale was in Old Naples. It was originally listed for $10,250,000 and it sold for $9,800,000. This was a furnished property with 4 bedrooms plus a den, 6 bathrooms, 4,357 square feet. There's no HOA fees in this part of Old Naples, and the tax bill is $45,160. That sale is important because it shows that even at the luxury level, buyers are still looking closely at value. Luxury buyers will pay for the right property, but they are not ignoring the data. So what should buyers do with all this? First, do not chase every price reduction. A reduced listing is only interesting if the new price is closer to the recent closed sales and the total cost of ownership makes sense. Second, focus on listings with longer days on the market. If a home has been sitting for 90 plus days, has already had a price reduction, and is still competing against similar homes nearby, that is where the buyers may have more room to negotiate. Third, compare the current price to the competition. If there are several similar homes available in the same community, the seller has less leverage. Fourth, look at condition and the cost of ownership. Condo with a lower price but high HOA fees may not be as strong of a deal as it appears. And fifth, make offers that are supported by data. A low offer without logic usually gets ignored, but an offer backed by recent sales, days on market, condition, and carrying costs can be much more persuasive. For sellers, the message is just as important. The market is not saying homes will not sell. The market is saying buyers have more choices and less patience for overpricing. If your home is priced too high in the first 2 weeks, you risk losing your best launch window. And once a listing starts sitting, buyers begin to wonder, what's wrong with it? That's why pricing, preparation, photography, video, and marketing all have to be front loaded. You do not want to chase the market down with repeated price reductions. You want to enter the market with a strategy that makes buyers feel urgency early. That does not mean underpricing your home. It means positioning it correctly against the real competition. In today's Naples, Florida market, pricing correctly from the beginning is not just a pricing decision. It's a marketing strategy. So here is the real takeaway this week. Naples, Florida price reductions are creating opportunities, but they are not creating equal opportunities everywhere. The best buyer leverage is usually found where several things come together. Higher inventory, longer days on market, meaningful price reduction, gap between asking prices and closed sales, and sellers who are competing against better price alternatives. For buyers, this can create negotiating room. And for sellers, it's a warning. The market is not rewarding wishful pricing. It is rewarding preparation, accuracy, and strategy. If you are thinking about buying in Naples, Florida, I can help you look beyond the headline price and identify where the real negotiation leverage may be. And if you're thinking about selling, I can help you understand where your home should be positioned before it becomes another stale listing with multiple reductions. You can download my buyer guide or seller guide using the links below. Reach out directly if you want a property specific strategy conversation. I'm Chris Alley, Naples, Florida Realtor since the year 2000. Thanks for watching, and people like you reach out to me each and every day. I'll see you on the next video. I know you're going to love it. Bye for now.